Hi everyone, good evening. So today the topic for our 10 weeks of Yuktahar project is this. It is the soups of phase 1. Okay, but before we start with the topic for today, I just want to make a few important announcements. So one is this, that people who have filled up the week 1 progress form, so those people, my team is reaching out to all those people. They've started from today, and because there are many forms, this will continue till tomorrow. So please keep a check on your Instagram DMs, because they are reaching out to all those people through Instagram, because we had asked your Instagram handle, and that is how we are trying to reach out to you. And we are trying to reach out to you only to answer the queries. If you have given us a concern, if you have shared some questions with us in the progress form and you wanted some kind of remedy or suggestion from us, so that is exactly why we are reaching out to you. This is only for people who have filled the week 1 progress form. So if you are one of those, and if you have shared some kind of concern, query, anything in the form, then do note that my team is reaching out to you today, and will continue to do that tomorrow. So please keep a check on your DMs. A few of the people may have already received it on their DMs, and the people who haven't received it by now, you will receive it in some time, either today or tomorrow. So that is one thing. The second thing is that we are finishing phase 1 tomorrow. So we are finishing 2 weeks of the 10-week project tomorrow. So that's a great news. So again, because we are finishing the week 2 tomorrow, we are going to put up a form with the week 2 progress form. We are going to upload the link tomorrow, not today. So please don't ask for the forms from right now. We are going to upload this tomorrow, because it's tomorrow that we are finishing week 2. So please, in the same manner, fill out the week 2 progress forms, so that again we can respond to your queries, and we can respond to your concerns, and anything that you wish to share with us, we are there to help you out. So, and even if it's not a query or concern, we would just love to hear it from you, how you're feeling. And there are people who have shared with us how great they are feeling in phase 1, and saying very nice things about the program. So thank you very much. So in the same way, we are going to put out a week 2 progress form tomorrow. So please ensure that you fill that up. We will be putting up the link, and you can fill it up just the way आपने week 1 का भरा था. So that these were the 2 important announcements. The third announcement is that please put your questions in the question mark feature. There's a question mark icon on the top right, on the bottom right corner of the Instagram live section. So if you're watching me live right now, there's a question mark icon. Please click on that, and please submit your questions over there, because I can just miss out on few questions if you write it on the screen, and I just need to scroll it, and I might just lose them. So please ensure that you use that feature and put your questions over there during the live. Okay, so now we'll get back to our topic, which is soups of phase 1. कि phase 1 के soups क्या हैं? Why I'm saying soups of phase 1? Because we are in phase 1 right now, and I just want to talk about soups which are specific to this phase. Okay, so a lot of people misinterpret soup, because soups are of so many kinds. So there's a lot of misinterpretation. There's also a misinterpretation of how what time would you have this soup? Am I what is the right time? How can we have it? How it is to be made? And though that kind of a thing is something that I'm going to discuss. Firstly, if soup is had in the right time, and if it is made in the right way, then know that it is something which is very, very healing and very, very therapeutic. So soup is something that will help if you add to your phase 1 plan. Again, if you are one of those who are like I'm living in a hot country right now, and I don't feel like having soups, then please know that there is no compulsion from our end, or not even from the book, that tells you that you have to do this. These are things that are good for you, that are good for your gut. If you feel you want to do this, you can do them. If you feel that a hot soup is not something that you would want to have because it's summers right now, you can safely skip it. or you can just simply want to have it once in a week. So it's something that is totally dependent on personality, on person to person, and unless we are on a personal consultation, it becomes difficult for us to judge what will suit you, what will not suit you in terms of your preference, in terms of your liking, because your preferences and likings are something that we can understand only when we are working on a one-on-one consultation. So because this is not a one-on-one consultation, I will urge that you take these advices as something which is known to be ideal, which is going to help you, and depending on your liking and preference and convenience, you adjust them. You want to do this every day, or you just want to do it twice a week, or you want to do it once a week, or you don't want to do it at all. So coming back to the topic, soups of phase 1. The first is lentil based. Now, what is a lentil based soup? A lentil based soup, of course, in phase 1, people who are doing it, they know that there are only 3 lentils which are allowed: moong, masoor and tuar. So when I'm talking about soups of phase 1, I mean to say that you make some soup out of only these 3 lentils. Of course, when you progress to phase 2, we have the horse gram soup, and we have many other lentil soups in phase 2. Which are again brilliant, but for the aim and the goal of this phase, we are restricting ourselves to only these 3 lentils, which is moong, masoor and tuar. And so what is required is that you make a soup out of any of these lentils. So a moong dal soup, in fact, we had shared a recipe of a moong dal soup during the COVID second wave time, when we had a lot of people asking us what to eat during COVID and post COVID, because moong dal again is something very healing and very light for the body, and it works excellent for people who are recovering. So moong dal soup is like one example of this. The other is, there is something which is called Mangodi. It's called Mangodi in Rajasthan, but it's the same thing which is called by different names. And it's actually a sun-dried lentil. So we call it a vadi in some places. These are basically dumplings, lentil dumplings. So, Rajasthani people will call that a Mangodi. Maharashtrian people call it a sandge. There are others who call it a vadi. So basically, it's basically a lentil dumpling which is made during summertime. It is sun-dried and it is stored in a container, and it is used all through the year. So that's an excellent thing to use for a soup. In fact, I am a Marwadi, so I know about this Mangodi soup very well. It's something that we really, love to have all through the year, because it's just the dumpling which is there. And anytime when, there's no veggies around and something like that, I just find it very easy also to make this, and it's very nutritious. So any of these dumplings which you can make out of these 3 lentils, you can go for that kind of a soup. So that is the lentil based. The second is vegetable based. Now vegetable based, there are so many options. So there's rasam, which is vegetable based and is in such an excellent therapeutic soup to have. You can have rasam in so many varieties. There's so many recipes of it. Each household has its own recipe, putting their own spices. And again, it's something that, South Indians believe as very therapeutic. So rasam is one of the vegetable based. And of course, there is pumpkin soup, and there's lauki ka soup. So there are so many soups. Onion soup. Onion is something which is again, I don't know how many people know, but onion is again something which is anti-inflammatory. So according to the goals of this phase, onion soup is again something which is, which blends with the goal very well. So any of these vegetable soups is something that you should go for. The third is a leaf-based soup. So a leaf-based soup can be a palak soup, it can be methi soup, it can be the moringa leaf soup, which is nothing but the drumstick leaves. So you take the drumstick leaves and you make a soup out of it. So you can, use any of these and make a leaf-based soup. And the third is the spice-based soup. So a spice-based soup can be like a haldi ka soup. Again, a turmeric soup is something very nice, and we had shared iska recipe. Again, during the COVID, second wave of COVID, you can even go to our COVID highlights, which is there on our Instagram page, and you can check that out. So we had shared the recipe of a turmeric soup. Again, something which is very good, anti-inflammatory, cleansing, healing, therapeutic, and all of those things. So it can be something like a haldi ka soup, or it can be something like a amla ka soup. Amla soup recipe is there in the book Yuktahar, the belly and brain diet. So you can, check it out there. So again, amla soup and all of these would come in the spice-based soup category. So I just wanted to give you a fair idea that when I say a soup, what are we essentially talking about? Secondly, people might think ki, what about some soup which I haven't mentioned right now. Then again, just refer to the table. If you are following the phase 1, then refer to the table 9, which is in chapter 5. You know the foods which are restrictive. So if your soup, the ingredients doesn't consist of any of the foods which are in forget list, then you can have that soup. There is no such thing that you have to stick to only the names that I have mentioned. But it was just to give you a fair idea that when I talk about a soup, what do I essentially mean? Do I mean those cream of mushroom soup and sweet corn soup and so many other soups that we have that we usually find outside? Or are we even talking about soup which is ready to eat? We are not talking about that. There's one more point that I actually missed out here, and I just remembered while speaking to you, and that is the meat based soup. So you can go for a chicken soup as well. So like a chicken soup again is something which is nice for people who are non-vegetarians. So again, it is something which will be very light. So understand this that when we use any food, how it will affect your body depends on how it is cooked. If you make a soup from a chicken, then it somehow becomes light. The way it is cooked, the way it's put in the pot for a long time, because of its soupy consistency, because of the volume of water, there are many things that go into it which makes a chicken soup healing. That is why a chicken soup is also given to people who are sick. But a chicken biryani is I'm not saying bad, but at least that is not something that you would have if you're sick, or that is not something that I want you to have for dinner. You can have that during the lunch. So that is the kind of the kind of point of view I want you to have when you think about food. Just don't think about food in terms of ingredients, that okay, this is chicken, so this is going to be like this. Is chicken good? Is this good? Is rice good? Is wheat good? We need to stop thinking about food like this. We have to think about food in terms of its totality. कि chicken तो है, पर वो chicken से बना क्या है? How it is made, the way it is made, which is a good time to have it. Those are the things that we have to think about. So this is about soups. And again, as I mentioned that there are also a lot of misinterpretations on how to have it. So again, the soup, the way it is made, can be filling or not filling. Right? Usually when we make a lentil based soup, it's just not always lentil. You will put some vegetables along. So, it's lentil and it's vegetables, and it becomes quite wholesome. So when you are having a soup which is wholesome, it may take the place of your dinner. It may not, or it may. Again, it would depend on how much hunger is there. Again, it differs from person to person, and not only does it differ from person to person, it also differs from day-to-day basis. Like for the same person, it will differ day-to-day basis. Someday the person is going to feel quite hungry, and he or she might feel that the soup doesn't suffice me, and someday the person will feel just good enough with the soup for dinner. So it really depends on what is the recipe, how wholesomely you have made it, and what is your hunger. In all cases, do remember that soup can become a part of your dinner, and it can actually replace your dinner also, depending on these factors. And the end result should be this, that you should not be feeling starved after having the soup. The idea is not suppression. The idea is not this, that eat less calories and that is why have soup for dinner, so that you will lose weight and suppress your hunger. This is not what the philosophy is. The philosophy is about eating according to your hunger. So if you feel that your hunger is only good enough for a soup, then go for a soup for dinner. If you feel it's not, then it can just become a part of your dinner, which means that you start with the soup and then go ahead with a main course, a main dinner. So that is the thing. Another thing, the way you can have it is as an evening thing. So a lot of people like to have soup in the evening. So it really again depends on your hunger levels, on your preference, also on your convenience, because for not everyone it is convenient to cook up a soup in the evening. Whereas it is convenient for a lot of people to cook up a soup in the evening. So again, it's something that you will have to judge for yourself. So, go ahead with that either as an evening meal or as a dinner or as a part of a dinner, depending on your convenience, depending on your liking, depending on what the recipe of the soup is, whether it's a very light soup or a wholesome soup, and depending also on how much hungry you are. So I hope that clears a lot of myths that exists with the soup, and I'll take the questions. Okay, so Pallavi Kedia is asking that what is phase 1? Where can I get the book? So you will get the book if you are based in India, then you will get the book in all of the bookstores in India. The name of the book is Yuktahar, the Belly and Brain Diet. And I was just looking if the book is around, it's not. So the name of the book is Yuktahar, the Belly and Brain Diet. So in India, it's available in all bookstores, and it's also available at Amazon. If you live outside India, then right now only the Kindle version is available at Amazon.com. The paperback copy outside India will be available, only from March onwards. Okay. So Tulsi is asking, I forgot we can't eat pickles in phase 1. Does this mean I should restart phase 1? No, not at all. Not at all. So if there's something that you have consumed by error or by because of any XYZ reason, if there's something that you have consumed which is in the forget list for phase 1, you just have to, forget it and just start your next day as usual. You don't have to restart the phase 1 at all. So you can just continue it just the way it is said in the book. So don't stress about one-off things that go wrong. That's completely fine. Okay, warm water dries out my mouth. Is it normal? What can be done? So honestly, it's something that I haven't heard of, that the warm water dries out your mouth. But if you feel it that way, then just adjust the temperature of the water and check. You may make it little more cooler and then check how you're finding it, or you can make it completely cool and then have, as I said in the video that in the live that I did for the water section, I think that live was done 3 to 4 days back, that I am only telling you what is ideal. You need to adjust the temperatures according to your preference, your likings, and so many other factors. So you start with hot water, you feel that it's not working, you reduce it to warm. If you feel that your mouth is drying, as you said, you can bring it to cool temperature and then have. The thing is that the only thing that I asked you not to have is refrigerated water. In fact, I even told you that if you are in a very hot country and there's summer season, you can even go for a matka water. So, that kind of flexibility is there in TBBD program. So there's, nothing that you have to stay put that, this is a rule and I have to follow this as a rule. There is no rule. So, right from hot water to matka water, there's a complete flexibility that you have. And since we are not, as I said, in a personal one-on-one consultation, it becomes impossible for us to know what is your preference. Only you can judge your preferences and you have to act accordingly. So the only thing that we ask you to avoid is refrigerated water, because that is something which is very, very bad for your metabolism. So anything which is chilled or refrigerated water, so that is something that you need to avoid. Okay, so somebody was asking me again, as I have been requesting that please don't put questions here, but when I was doing the live, I just read somebody writing, asking me what is the home remedy for pimples, and I don't know if I have missed any other question, but I will just again request that please use this question mark feature on Instagram, because when I have no help around, it becomes difficult for me to scroll down the questions and then discover them and then answer it for you. So it's something that I'm unable to scroll, but what I remember while I was talking, there was somebody who asked me home remedy for pimples. Again, home remedy for pimples, first understand acne or pimples is something that is caused by inflammation, and that is caused by just a lot of inflammatory molecules in the gut. So if you want to really get rid of it, you should do the 3-phase TBBD program. But if you're not up to it, then I can give you home remedies, but these are not things that will actually solve the issue from the root. Only to solve issues from the root, this 3-phase thing is designed by me, because then it works beautifully, solving things from the root, and then the effects are very, very long term. But anything which is like a gulkand, like a teaspoon of gulkand if you take, which we actually don't take in phase 1, because gulkand is a fermented food, and we take that in phase 2. But if you're not following the phase 3 program, and if you're asking me for pimples, then there can be many things like a fennel tea. A fennel tea works very good. Gulkand works very good. So these are few of the things that you can incorporate. A fennel tea is simply taking fennel seeds and boiling them with water, and just boil them for a few minutes, not long, and then you can just transfer it to a thermos. You can let it cool if you wish. If you are okay drinking it warm, drink it warm. If you don't strain it, and if you just let it steep, it works better, because the polyphenols of fennel then dissolve in the water. They get time to dissolve and work, so it works better if you don't strain it, and if you just let it steep. Okay, so thank you very much. So Deepthi is asking me, what is the best thing to have first thing in the morning to increase metabolism and decrease sugar cravings? So yeah, I mean, the kind of things that you can have first thing in the morning, again, please refer to the book. Chapter 10 has a complete recipe of the things that you can have to start your day. So please, go ahead and use that. Okay, so fine. I think there are a few other questions that have just come, but I think I'll just take them. I'll make a note. My team will make a note of these questions. So please don't worry, and I'm going to address them tomorrow. So we are meeting tomorrow again. Okay, so same time, same place, tomorrow, 6 p.m. And as I said, once again, for people who joined me late, let me just repeat this. My team is going to reach out to you on your Instagram DM, only to the people who have filled up the week 1 progress form. And they are reaching out only to answer to your queries, concerns, remarks, whatever you had for us in the form, so that we can just, have a, two-way conversation, and it doesn't stay one way. So please check your DM, especially the people who have private accounts, because what I understood from my team is people with private Instagram accounts are probably not looking at their DMs. So please keep a check. Today or tomorrow, last, you will receive a message from my team. These are people who have filled the week 1 progress form, and few people may have already received, few people, may be receiving on the way. Otherwise, tomorrow last you'll receive it. Again, week 2 progress form will be uploaded tomorrow, because we are finishing phase 1 and week 2. So tomorrow the form will be there, and you got to fill the form again, so that we can repeat this process, so that we can reach out to you and speak to you, know your concerns, know how great you're doing, and all of those things. And thank you for all the lovely words, people who have written for us in the progress forms, and thank you so much. It means a lot to us, and we would love to continue this feedback system, where we both are in communication with each other. Thank you very much.